Hi, Music 103A students. This is a demonstration video for the Melodic Incipit project. The Melodic Incipit project is due on June 5th, which is a Friday. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview, first of all, as to what you should be doing for the project. You'll want to take out some staff paper, and you can use either pencil or pen, that's up to you. On the piece of staff paper, you want to notate at least the opening two measures of tunes that are familiar to you that could help you remember or identify intervals. Now you can use tunes from any style. It could be something you know from your classical repertoire, could be a folk tune, jazz, popular. The point here is that you want to use tunes that you're familiar with, tunes that you know and that you're familiar with. Now it's typically the opening interval, the very first interval that's used as a melodic incipit. And for this project, since we've been working on ascending intervals this semester together, I only want you to use ascending intervals. So melodies that begin with a very specific ascending interval. Now you can use, like I said, any tune you want. In this demonstration, I'm going to go over two different tunes with you. First, I'm going to show you London Bridge, which begins with a major second ascending. And then I'm going to show you Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, which begins with a perfect fifth ascending. So London Bridge could be used as a tune to help you remember the major second interval, and Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star could be used as a tune to help you remember or identify a perfect fifth. Okay, so let's say that you selected London Bridge to be the tune that you are going to use for the major second. And of course, you'll want to use a different melody or different tune for your example of a major second. I'm going to start in a key. I'm going to give myself the key of D major. So here's the sound of D major. Now, tonic is here. And notice that if I'm going to think about the song London Bridge, I'd start here. Right, here's tonic. London Bridge actually starts on the scale degree 5. And it sounds like this. Okay, so you'll want to use a clef, either treble or bass, your choice. And then pick a key. So I picked D major. You'll also want to make sure that you pick the appropriate time signature. And London Bridge is in 4/4 time, so here's treble clef, and then I put in my 2 sharps on my key signature, and then 4/4 time for my time signature. Now you're welcome to look these melodies up on the internet or in a book if you want, or you can try to notate them by ear as well. It's really up to you. So again, here's D major, and London Bridge starts on scale degree 5. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and notate that melody. All right, so here's the melody notated. And again, if you want to try writing it by ear without the aid of looking at the notation, that's great. But you don't have to do that. You can actually look the melodies up if you'd like as well. But the point is, you should be going through the melodies that you know already sort of in your head, not by looking them up necessarily, and just trying to figure out if you can hear melodies that you know that begin with certain intervals. You might have a difficult time with like the major seventh, possibly the tritone. Then you might want to go and look up melodies that begin with those intervals. And there's plenty of sources online that would give you some hints as to what melodies you could use for those intervals that are a little bit more uncommon. Okay, so here's D major again. And the melody goes like this. Now again, the whole point here is that this melody begins with the interval of a major second. So you want to go ahead and label that interval. And so that's pointing out to me that you're using the tune London Bridge as a melodic incipit to help you remember the major second. Right? There's a major second. You also want to make sure that you label the tune. Okay, and there's the finished product for London Bridge, a melodic incipit of a major second that can help you remember that particular interval. Now, when you finish your project, it will be helpful to me if you start with the minor second first, and then do the major second, then the minor third, then the major third, and so on, and just list them in the order from minor second through perfect octave. And you might want to just take some notes and then eventually do kind of a final version of all of them listed from the minor second through the perfect octave. So if this were my final project, I would have the minor second on a line above it, and then I'd have the minor third on the line below it, and keep going from there. All right, now I'm just going to give you one more example. And here we are in the bass clef, and I selected the key of A flat major. You'll want to use different clefs, treble and bass, different keys. So don't always pick C major, for example. So for this particular example, I'm going to use A flat major. And the tune is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And again, you want to make sure that you do at least the opening 2 measures. You can notate more if you'd like, but at least the opening 2 measures. And this particular melody begins with the interval of a perfect fifth. So that melody can be used to help you remember or identify a perfect fifth. So I'm going to go ahead and notate Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, and then label the interval, and then also label the tune. All right, so there's the finished product in the key of A flat major. Notice I labeled the interval of the perfect fifth there, which I'm trying to draw to your attention so that you know that this could be a tune that you could use to remember or identify a perfect fifth. And then I labeled the tune as Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Again, you want to notate at least the opening 2 measures. And right before you're going to scan the project to submit it, make sure you list them in the order from a minor second through the perfect octave. And you want to do 12 different melodies, one and only one for each interval between the minor second and the perfect octave.